June 4th, 1989, my friend Don died in a car crash. He was 25 years old, and never before his death had I suffered the death of a man I was so in love with. Don was born here in Albuquerque, April 25th, 1964, about a month before I graduated from high school in Illinois. Then, I was a very religious 18-year-old farm boy. I had never visited New Mexico. I did not know that some men are in love and make love with men. I did not know that I was gay. If anyone had told me then that a baby boy born in Albuquerque would become so precious to me, how could I have understood it? I met Don when he was 16. A few months later, I told him that I am gay. He was attracted to me and wanted to have sex with me. I was very attracted to him, and I wanted to have sex with him. But I turned him down because he was under 18. I did not want to risk getting arrested for having sex with him, no matter how mutually consensual and affectionate. He was deeply hurt, and I was torn. I have his letter at home expressing his anger for my refusing sex with him because he was under 18 years of age. June 22nd, 1983, when he was 19, and he was living in Denver at the time, he and I made love. The next morning, a woman friend of his asked me where I had slept last night. And Don spoke up. He slept with me. How attractive Don was. Lean physique, sexy voice, intense, passionate, curious, yearning for love. His mother was Chicana, his father Italian. Don and I never lived as partners together under the same roof. He drank booze, he smoked cigarettes. I hate booze, I hate cigarettes. But I deeply loved Don. I was in love with him, and I made love with him. His mother honored me by asking me to be in charge of his memorial service and to be an honorary pallbearer. I poured my heart into songs I sang at his memorial service. Amazing Grace, Precious Lord, Take My Hand, Cordero de Dios, Yo te amo mucho. I poured my heart into what I spoke. People wept. His mother later told me no preacher, no priest would have done a better job. The next night after Don's memorial service, Don's Anglo stepfather told me, I never understood until last night. Apparently he meant he had never understood a man being in love with a man until he experienced the deep feelings I had expressed for Don in that service. Don's lover, Kyle, whom I met for the first time at the funeral home, told me he had seen a picture of me that Don had. And Kyle had asked Don who that was. And Don said, he and I are very close. And Kyle asked Don, what does that mean? And Don told Kyle, you know what that means. Don's brother and sister gave me over 30 letters and cards I had written Don over the years, and he had saved. And as I later read them, I was so glad that I had clearly expressed my passionate romantic affection for him in my letters and cards. How terribly sad if we love someone and that person dies and we never told them how much we love them. Deep grief is a sweet and precious agony, because deep grief shows us how much we can love someone. Before they closed the lid of Don's casket, I chose to be the last to say goodbye. I kissed his hands, I kissed his forehead, I kissed his lips, and I wept. Earlier, I had placed a small card near his hands in the coffin for others to read. To my beloved Don, with eternal embraces and passionate affection, from Don Schrader. I mourned tremendously alone on our Illinois farm with sobs and yells when my mother died 7 years earlier in 1982. She was my all-time closest friend in this world. And Don's death 7 years later matured me to weep freely in public. And worse than suffering such loss would be never becoming close enough to anyone else in life to feel such pain in parting. And worse than suffering such loss would be never becoming close enough to anyone else in life to show our grief and tears with no shame. I've gone many times since June 4th, 1989 to his grave at Fairview Cemetery on Yale Southeast toward the airport. I kissed the grass above his lips. I kissed the grass above his hands. I kissed the grass above his cock. I kissed the grass above his feet. When my mother died in 1982, I chose to be the last to kiss her body before her casket was closed. When my dad died in 1994, I chose to be the last to say goodbye, to kiss his body before the casket was closed. I remember the title of the old song, "Save the Last Dance for Me." Never, 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 never be ashamed to show love for someone when they're alive. And never, never, never be ashamed to show someone love when they're dead.